What's going on, boys and girls? Today we have got a skill school tactic, a tactic dedicated to letting players dribble more, tested over in South America where all the trickery happens, and we have got some pretty impressive results. It's a very unique tactic, but if you like exciting, fast-paced football with skills and tricks, this is going to be your type of video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and if you enjoy that much, you can come over and find my second channel where I post rebuilds quite often, and we also use these tactics there. So endless content. Be sure to go head over and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go over and get into the testing. First up, with the default tactic variant, we went over and tested with a River Plate in the Argentinian division. Now, I apologise to any South American viewers because I've never done a South American test, and I had so much fun. We actually won so many trophies. We won the Premier Division, we won the Argentine League Cup, the Copa Libertadores, I'm going to butcher that every time, Copa Argentina, the Argentine Super Cup, and also the Argentine International Super Cup, meaning it's 6 trophies in one season, an immaculate season, and one I will forever remember, with our players coming in and absolutely dominating. I know River Plate are a good team, I do have that little knowledge going on. They're a very good team, and the stats back it up. 186 goals in the league, over 1,000 shots, the fewest shots against at 253, the most clean sheets, and also second place when it comes to the fewest conceded. Now, possession-wise, very surprisingly, we are in third place because this should be about picking up the ball, dribbling more, taking on players, little shimmy here, little shimmy there, and we still maintained a 60%. So, good stats, good trophies, the data hub, a good data hub. 4.23 goals per game, only 0.77 conceded, shots per game at 24.8, an 87% pass completion. The tackle-in ratio a little bit low, maybe it's a mixture of tackle harder and South American flair. They do love a challenge, but overall I can take them stats, I can take the league stats, and I definitely can take 6 trophies. Now to a tactic that scored over 5 goals a game. When you think of flair, you think of trickery, you think of Neymar. When you think of Neymar, you think of Santos. That's how I got here anyway. And this is going to be the more attacking version of the original set of results. And as you can see, we come out and win 3 things here. We're going to win the Brazilian Cup, the Brazilian Sao Paulo State Championship, and also the Brazilian National Second Division. And you know what? We put on a display. Of course, they've got Marcus Leonardo, one of my favourite players. People that watch the streams will absolutely know that reference. And we scored over 200 goals in that league. Now, you do play a fair few games, I will be honest by saying that, with close to 1,000 shots, the most dribbles, most possession, fewer shots against, the most clean sheets, and also the fewest conceded. So the stats are perfect, the trophies are perfect, the data hub, it's perfect. The only thing, and I'm going to be very picky and be quite critical of myself here, I would like to see that around more of a 0.7, but I'll accept it because we scored 5.34 with over 25 shots a game. But if I'm being petty, I'm being critical, that's quite a lot in my opinion. But obviously, it won't affect you in any way because you're scoring over 5 goals a game. So maybe I'm striving for perfection a little bit too much. Actually, over to the Colombian First Division with Independiente Santa Fe. I do not believe they are a powerhouse in this division, but if you are from Colombia, please do correct me wrong because I'll be honest, I do not have too much knowledge on Colombia, but I wanted to sort of test with them, have some fun, and we definitely done that, winning 41, drawing 7, and only losing 3. And stats coming in like this, again, the same stat lines, the most goals, over 1,000 shots, defensively, absolutely incredible. And I think we also did win a Colombian Cup and won the Colombian First Division second phase. That's just a confusing title, but we do, I believe, win the treble. If I am wrong, my hands are up and I am sorry. The Colombian Cup, we actually come out and had quite a dramatic game, to be fair, going the distance there over 2 legs. And as for the actual data hub sort of stats, it's still scoring over 3 goals a game, 0.67 conceded, over 20 shots, and 87% pass completion. And I will say this underdog tactic / defensive tactic, it's not as free-flowing, a little bit more resilient when it comes to defending, so you won't score as many goals, but it's perfect for those of you that want to play this elegant sort of, take on football, but still want to be sensible and, have a good defensive back line. So let's go over now, watch some highlights from probably the Santos save, and then it's tactic time. 10 goals to watch now. It's an 8-2 game, which we do start off very early on, and they get an equaliser very early on as well. 2 set-piece goals. Make that 3 set-piece goals. Make sure you got my set pieces. It's 4 set-piece goals back-to-back, conceding and scoring. Now we've got 6 goals from open play, hopefully, with Braga taking on a few people there and squaring it in the box into Doddy. And again, another set piece into Doddy, into the bottom right-hand corner. This is more of a set piece masterclass. Nathan down the right-hand side, into Barbosa in the middle, into Doddy. And at this point, it's goals galore, isn't it? It's absolutely goals galore. This to make it 6-2. A little dink over the top there. Beautiful South American flair. As there is now going to be time for a 7th goal. Driving at everyone there. That's the runs I want to see people doing. An incredible bit of play there as Nathan picks it up across over into Donato, into Wendell, takes on his man, levers it into 8-2. This is also the cup final with River Plate, and again we're going to start off with a set piece. If you've not got my set pieces, guys, you need to go and get them because they are absolutely busted, it seems, as we are going to see a goal from open play again finally to make it 2. A little bit of trickery here as he cuts in on his man. Meza, fine. Oh, that is unlucky. The first shot was really good, but we'll take the rebound anyway to make it 3-0. Another set piece, and I'm not going to say it again. This is like a promo for the set pieces at this point. Diaz is going to go all the way through into Bierrio to make that his 4th goal, I think, of the game. And I think he might get the last one as well. He does, from another set piece. Now to actually go over and make that tactic for yourselves. If you are enjoying so far, by the way, please do leave a like and subscribe. It helps out a lot more than you can even imagine. It means the absolute world, and it helps the video as well, being open and honest. But to make this tactic, you are going to go and load in a wing play tactic, so you already know there's going to be some trickery, and we are going to go ahead and load in. I tell you what we'll do, if they've got it on here, we are going to load in the exact formation, which is going to be the 4-2-4 DM wide. Next thing you want to go and do is change the mentality and have that set to positive, and now we can really get cracking down with the player roles. So the goalkeeper is going to be set to support, simply on the default, nothing special. What is special though is all of these perks. If you are interested in getting access to all 3 of these tactics in one simple download, save yourself a bunch of time. You want them on console, want them on mobile, you want my rebuild files, one-on-one tactical help, priority in the requests, and also I tweak your tactics, your saves, and monthly giveaways. Last month's being £500 split between 5 people. You can come over and join the Patreon in the description below or on the screen. Type it in Google, where we have got close to 5,000 people and the community is growing day by day. So much going on and a great place to be if you love FM. But let's go through now and actually talk through this back line. So the wing back on the right is going to be set to support, and he is going to have one key instruction which you probably would imagine him having: dribble more. Make sure they have got that on, because that is the DNA of this tactic. And again, I will say alongside of that, run wide and tackle harder. But a little heads up about this tactic: this is a unique tactic, okay? This is not necessarily the most meta tactic, but it is fun to play. If you've got a lot of attacking players, like Liverpool's a really good example. You've got Trent who can go forward, Robertson who can go forward. Let them dribble with it. Let them just have some fun. It's towards the end of the game. Don't deep it too much. Let your players attack and have some fun, because you still can pick up some really good results, as we've seen. As the wing back on the left is going to be exactly the same. So dribble more, run wide, and also tackle harder. When it comes to the ball players in the default variant, so this is the one being used with River Plate, we actually kept them both simply on the default. We didn't add dribble more on. Maybe, little heads up, we did that in the attacking one, but for the default one, we kept it literally the same, because our wing backs are dribbling. I didn't also really want the ball players dribbling as well. When it comes to the midfield, this is where things are going to get a little bit spicy, because we're going to opt for a double volante setup, which in the South American leagues, they seem to be blessed with options over there. So if you are playing in South America, you're going to be covered. And we are going to have them both set to dribble more and both set to tackle harder as well. So the same on the right is going to go for the left as well. So these volantes are going to be incredibly comfortable on the ball. So make sure you've got the right players to fulfill that role. Now when it comes to the inside forwards, that is right, inside forwards on the left and on the right hand side, they are both going to be set to obviously attack, which makes them both on dribble more by default, but they have got 2 instructions for themselves: tackle harder and also roam from position. The reason why we've got roam from position on and also tackle harder is I want, a lot of the players have got tackle harder on anyway, but I want them to be aggressive in the challenge and get into different areas, different pockets. They're going to be cutting in anyway, which is perfect because the wing backs will be pushing forwards. So that's also a very, very good and key part of this tactic, the fact that they are going to come inside, the wing backs can overlap. And lastly, we are going to go with the double advanced forward setup, which if you played this game for a decent amount of time, you know that means goals, goals, goals. And of course, we are going to have them both set to dribble more. Now, I understand not every team's going to have 2 technical strikers. So if you have not got 2 technical strikers, you could use any other role for one of the sides and it would still be completely fine. But in an ideal world, you've got 2 sort of tricky strikers that can take on players and really go to town. Now the team instructions, once again, of course, all based off that wing play. This time we are still going to obviously be on positive. We are going to max out this all the way to wide. That is how wing play works. We're going to overlap left and overlap right as well. And we're going to go crazy. We're going to go shorter. We're going to max out the tempo, be more expressive, and also run at defense. If you want to go a little bit more direct, you could also opt to pass into the space. But for me, this worked like an absolute charm. In transition, we're going to take short goal kicks because that can go to the back line, but also, and key, goes to the flanks, which of course is key in this system. And we're going to counter and also hit them with that wonderful counter press. And lastly, out of possession, we're going to deploy the high press with the high pressing defensive line much more often when it comes to the trigger press, and also get stuck in. And that's going to give you the default version, which we tested over with River Plate, now to the tactic that we tested with, and we actually scored 5+ goals a game. And if you remember, that was with Santos, and this is where things are going to change a little bit. So as you can see already, you probably have noticed it, the Volante on attack, that is mainly the big change. The goalkeeper remains the same, the ball playing defenders are both now on dribble more, so even they are going to get forward with the unchanged wing back. So too, ball playing defenders on dribble more. The Volante remains the same. And by the way, actually, it doesn't remain the same. The Volante is now not on dribble more on the right, because the one on the left is now going to go up. Let me actually change that back to an attacking Volante, who is going to be set to dribble more and also tackle harder with moving into the channel. So he is going to be a very, very attacker-minded Volante. So that is why the other one has sacrificed a little bit of that dribbling more ability. The inside forward on the right and on the left have both now got shoot more often on. Again, if your wingers have not got good shooting, you would simply not have this selected. But if you have, it means more shots, it means more goals. You may as well use it. They're going to be cutting in anyway. You may as well use their abilities. And the advanced forwards, they simply remain unchanged. So the real big changes, there's quite a few actually. The centre-backs dribbling more, the Volante really attacking, and the inside forwards now having the ability to shoot. So again, it is going to be the wing play, and this time we are going to be up to attacking. Of course, the width is still going to be the same. There is no reason to change that. And to be honest with you, it does remain exactly the same here, because there isn't much more you can do to make this more attacking in this tab. In transition, again, the counter press, the counter, take short goal kicks. This time, distributing quickly, getting the ball moving. For possession, there is some things you can do, so we have applied much more often. We have gone with prevent short goalkeeper distribution. We're going to get stuck in, and this line is going to go maxed out to that much higher defensive line, meaning this attacking tactic is actually a whole lot more attacking, to be honest with you. Now to the tactic that is designed for underdog teams. I wouldn't really say this is a tactic designed for underdog teams, though, because it is so aggressive and there's a lot of dribbling going on. It's very free-flowing, but if you do want to test it with a weaker team, I've got you boys covered. So this is going to be the defensive tactic, and once again, the goalkeeper remains unchanged. The ball playing defenders, both simply on the default. The wing back on the right and on the left are now simply not going to be on dribble more, simply on tackle harder. So it gets less and less attacking as you go through the variants. So obviously with this one, the back line's actually quite reserved. The DM on the right on tackle harder and on the left also on tackle harder, which means the front four can still be dribbling more and getting involved. But of course, we've now got a very solid back six because the DMs are going to sit deep. But the inside forward on the right, on support, on roam and tackle harder, and on the left, exactly the same. The two advanced forwards, they are going to remain the same because we can afford to do that because of how defensive the back line is with them two DMs. So if you are playing as a weak team, this will be the best option. Again, the wing play, and we are going to go still on positive, so not from attacking. We're going to go right back to positive because it's a little bit more reserved, and we're going to keep the width because a wing play tactic needs to have width, and there's no point going all the way down to fairly narrow or narrow because it's not the same. You need to have your team widely spread, so that is why we've gone with that. And we're simply going to have run at defense. We are not going to be more expressive. We're not going to overlap. The passing is going to be the same as is the tempo, but the big change there is, of course, not the overlapping runs. In transition, we're going to counter press, also going to counter and play to anyone across the back line while simply rolling the ball out. And lastly, out of possession, we are going to deploy the standard line, the high pressing line of engagement, much more often, and lastly, for good measure, get stuck in. And that's going to make all the difference and give you boys and girls 3 variants of the skill school. A default tactic that got us phenomenal results with River Plate, an attacking tactic that broke the game with over 5 goals with Santos, and a defensive tactic that done pretty decent, scoring over 3 goals, a little bit more of a reserve variant for you boys. So hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. As always, you can comment below what you want to see next. More importantly, just have a great rest of your day. That's all that matters. I'll see you in the next one.